Let me tell you something, ladies. There's a moment in life where you realize you ain't got to chase nothing anymore. Not youth, not trends, not even a man. Because when a woman grows into her power, her wisdom, her walk, her silence, everything she touches becomes gold. Now you take that same kind of woman and you give her the right jewelry. Lord of mercy, she don't even got to speak. She just walks in and the room adjusts itself. So today, I'm going to tell you about 6 jewelry pieces that don't just decorate you. They elevate you. They don't shout. Look at me. They whisper. You know you want to. Let's go. Number 1, pearl studs that mean business. We're not talking your grandma's church pearls. I'm talking smooth, radiant, classy pearls that say, I got standards and I sleep well at night. You wear pearls and you don't even have to flirt. That glow around your face, that's grace, experience, and the fact that you ain't pressed. A man sees that and he starts thinking long term without even realizing it. Number 12, a signature statement ring. Now this ring ain't about bling. It's about identity. Big, bold, and unapologetically you. It says, I've loved. I've learned. And baby, I'm not for everybody, but I'm more than enough for the right one. It draws attention to your hands. And let's be real, a confident woman who talks with her hands is a whole experience. Number 3, gold hoop earrings that don't play, let me tell you, the right size hoops. Not too big, not too small. They speak volumes. Hoops say, yes, I can be soft, but don't test me. Hoops say, I've still got flavor. I've still got fire. When a woman rocks hoops with that I know who I am energy, it's a magnetic force that'll have grown men rethinking their entire lives. Number 4, a delicate gold chain with meaning. Now I ain't talking about flashy chains that need a spotlight. I mean that one gold chain you wear like it's part of your skin. Maybe it has a small pendant. Maybe it don't. Either way, it rests right on the collarbone, and baby, there is nothing more powerful than that soft shimmer over strong skin. It's intimate without being loud. That little chain says, you gotta get close to know my story. Number 5, an elegant brooch that tells a story old school. Maybe. But honey, old school still runs the school. A brooch on your coat, scarf, or even a blazer, it's a silent declaration. You don't see it everywhere anymore, and that's exactly why it stands out. It's art. It's mystery. It makes a man wonder, what else does she know that I don't? Number 6, diamond studs that don't blink first. You want to talk about power. A pair of simple diamond studs says, I'm not here to compete. I'm here to shine in my own lane. They're timeless. They don't scream. But trust me, they speak. And the message is clear, and this woman is the prize. That sparkle ain't about money. It's about presence. Let me leave you with this. Jewelry ain't just metal and stones. It's memory, it's message, it's the armor you wear when you've been through life and still know how to show up glowing. So wear what speaks to your soul, let it catch the light, and watch how men catch feelings. Because the truth is, when a grown woman wears the right jewelry, she ain't just beautiful. She's magnetic. There's something about pearl studs that just hits different on a grown woman. It's not about trying too hard or needing to stand out in a crowd. It's about knowing you don't have to. Pearls carry a kind of grace that can't be taught, only turned. When a woman slips on a pair of pearl studs, it's like she's slipping into her essence, her quiet confidence, her power that doesn't shout but still commands the room. Men notice it even if they don't know what they're looking at. They might not say, wow, those pearls, but they'll feel something shift. It's the kind of detail that separates a girl from a woman, a phase from a force. A woman in pearl studs doesn't need the noise or the glitter because her energy already lights the space. She's been through enough to understand that true beauty doesn't beg for attention, it attracts it naturally. Pearl studs bring light to the face, soften the gaze, and elevate the whole vibe. And when they rest right near the cheekbone, with that subtle blow, they draw attention to the eyes, to the smile, to the wisdom that's written in the expression. Men aren't just looking at her, they're curious about her. They sense that she's the kind of woman who knows what she wants and, more importantly, what she doesn't want. She's not available to chaos, confusion, or anything that costs her peace. Pearl studs give her a look that says she's expensive, not in money, but in standards. She's the type you approach carefully, respectfully, maybe even nervously, because she carries herself like she's already full and anything extra better be adding, not subtracting. There's also a sense of timelessness in pearl studs. They've been worn by queens, icons, and legends, and when an older woman wears them, she steps into that same legacy. She doesn't just wear jewelry, she wears meaning. She's not impressed by trends or the loud approval of the world. She's impressed by authenticity, class, and character. That's what pearl studs reflect. They say she's rooted. She's seen seasons come and go, and she's still standing with grace. The way they catch the light is the way she catches attention, without trying. And let's be real, there's a reason men lean in when a woman like that starts to speak. They're drawn in by the energy, the quiet confidence, the kind of beauty that doesn't fade with age but deepens. Pearl studs represent a woman who's done the work, healed the wounds, and now walks with the kind of softness that's backed by strength. It's a gentle power, the kind that makes a man want to protect her, even though he knows she doesn't need it. It's that balance of delicate and unshakable, soft and secure, feminine and fierce. Pearl studs are not declaration, they're declaration. They say she's enough just as she is, and the right man will recognize that not because she demands it, but because she wears it so effortlessly. A signature statement ring is more than just an accessory, it's a piece that tells a story without her ever opening her mouth. It catches the eye in a way that says, pay attention, but not because it's flashy, but because it's intentional. When an older woman wears a bold ring, it speaks to who she is and what she's been through. It's not just a ring, it's a reflection of her character, her history, her identity. She's not trying to fit in, she's standing out in her own lane. This kind of ring isn't about keeping up with trends, it's about setting the tone. It's big without being loud, powerful without being pushy. And when she gestures with it, it becomes a part of how she communicates. Men notice a woman with a statement ring differently. It's like they sense she's not someone you approach with games or small talk. That ring says she has depth, she has stories, she has a whole world inside of her that you're either going to explore with care or be denied entry completely. A signature ring adds weight to her presence. It reminds people that she's lived, that she's loved hard and lost deep, and that everything she wears has meaning. It's not just something pretty on her hand. It's a mark of her journey, and it gives her an edge. There's something undeniably magnetic about a woman who chooses her ring carefully. It tells a man that she's not afraid to be seen, that she's not shrinking herself or watering down her style. She embraces her boldness and her beauty in the same breath. The shape, the stone, the way it reflects light when she reaches for her coffee or rests her hand on the table. Every little movement becomes intentional. Every glance at her hand tells a man that she's not ordinary. A woman who wears a statement ring is the kind of woman who knows the value of details. She understands how to say a lot without saying a word. She knows how to dress her truth, and her jewelry becomes part of that expression. That ring becomes a piece of armor, a symbol of self-love, a reminder that she is whole on her own. It shows that she's not out here waiting for validation or compliments. She wears what makes her feel powerful. It's the difference between accessorizing and owning your look. When a man sees a woman like that, he doesn't just see fashion, he sees confidence wrapped in style. He sees someone who takes herself seriously, someone who is selective with her time, her energy, and her company. That signature ring might be bold, but it's not begging for attention. It's there because she put it there with purpose, and it instantly raises the standard. A woman like that doesn't need a room full of attention. She needs one person who sees her clearly, and even then, she decides if she'll let him close enough to know what that ring really means. Her gold hoop earrings have a way of turning heads without trying, especially when worn by a woman who knows herself. They aren't just a trend or an accessory, they're a statement. When a mature woman puts on a pair of gold hoops, she's saying she's still got it, confidence, flavor, wisdom, and that spark that never left, just evolved. There's something about the way gold hoops frame a woman's face, how they swing gently when she talks or moves, how they catch the light when she turns her head. It draws attention without demanding it, a soft reminder that she's still radiant, still bold, still magnetic. Men pick up on that energy before they even know what it is. It's not the earrings by themselves. It's the woman wearing them, the way she wears them, the energy she brings with them. She could be wearing jeans and a t-shirt, or a sleek dress and heels. Those hoops take the whole look to another level. They add rhythm to her presence, movement to her silence, and power to her stillness. Gold hoops speak of freedom, of a woman who doesn't need to ask for permission to be seen or heard. They're playful and elegant all at once, youthful but timeless. And when a woman rocks them with confidence, they tell a story. Maybe one of resilience, maybe one of adventure, maybe one of a woman who's danced through storms and came out shining brighter. They're not just jewelry, they're an attitude. They say she knows how to be soft, but she's got a backbone. She can laugh loud, love deep, and walk away without looking back if she has to. There's a rhythm in her step that matches the swing of those hoops, and it's the kind of rhythm a man feels before he even hears her speak. Gold hoops don't ask for validation, they declare value. A woman in gold hoops walks like she knows something you don't, like she holds secrets that are only unlocked by those worthy of her time. That kind of mystery is magnetic. A man looks at her and wonders what she's thinking, where she's been, who she is underneath that glow. She doesn't have to chase attention. It comes to her naturally. It's the way she tucks her hair behind her ear and those hoops catch the light. It's the way she laughs and they dance beside her jawline. It's the way she sits quietly and still owns the room. When an older woman wears gold hoops, it's not about following fashion. It's about owning her evolution. She knows what works for her, and she doesn't second-guess herself. That self-assurance, that fire, that finesse, it radiates, and those hoops become a visual symbol of all that. She becomes unforgettable not because she's trying to be, but because her presence stays in your mind long after she's left the room, a delicate gold chain on a woman who's lived, loved, and learned to carry a message deeper than words. It's soft, it's quiet, but it speaks volumes. There's something about the way it rests just below the collarbone, catching light with every breath she takes, that draws the eye and holds attention. It doesn't try to steal the spotlight, but somehow it becomes the spotlight. When a man sees that chain on her, it's not the shine that pulls him in. It's the story he senses behind it. He sees grace, simplicity, and a depth he can't explain. That little chain becomes a symbol of restraint, of knowing that you don't have to wear a crown to feel like royalty. It's the kind of piece that only a confident woman wears because she understands that less is often more, and that softness doesn't mean weakness. It's not about flaunting wealth or status. It's about wearing something meaningful, something that complements her energy without overpowering it. Maybe there's a small pendant, maybe it's just the chain alone. Either way, it sits there like a secret, inviting, intriguing, and completely in sync with who she is. That chain becomes a whisper that says, "I'm not for everyone." And that kind of whisper always gets louder in the mind of a man who's paying attention. It invites him to lean in, to look closer, to wonder who she is beyond what she's showing. She wears that gold chain not because she wants to be noticed, but because it feels like a part of her, like a reminder of her worth, her resilience, her ability to shine in even the quietest moments. It follows the shape of her neckline, drapes along her skin like a promise she made to herself long ago, to never settle, to always choose peace, to walk away from anything that dims her light. It's the kind of jewelry you don't take off when you go home, because it's not just an accessory, it's a part of your spirit. When a woman wears a chain like that, it's not about age, it's about essence. It adds to her allure without distracting from her strength. It's the kind of beauty that sneaks up on you. One moment you're in a room, and the next, you find yourself drawn to the curve of her neck, the way that chain sits there like it was born with her. It tells a story without giving too much away, and that's the kind of mystery that keeps people curious. Men don't just see the chain, they feel the energy around it. They feel her presence. They feel the warmth she carries, the peace she's earned, and the depth they want to dive into. That delicate gold chain doesn't scream for attention. It earns it slowly, intentionally, and with undeniable elegance, and an elegant brooch on a mature woman is like a signature on a masterpiece, intentional, bold, and full of meaning. It's not just pinned on for decoration, it's placed with purpose, and it transforms everything it touches. Whether it's on a blazer, a silk scarf, or the lapel of a coat, a brooch immediately changes the conversation. It's not trendy, it's timeless. It's not loud, but it's impossible to ignore. A woman wearing a brooch is sending a message without saying a word, and anyone paying attention knows they're in the presence of someone who carries herself with thought and pride. A brooch tells the world that the woman wearing it understands detail, understands elegance, and most of all, understands herself. There's something powerful about a woman who takes the time to wear something so classic, so refined. She's not chasing what's new, she's honoring what lasts. A brooch isn't flashy, it's art. It may be floral, abstract, vintage, or modern, but whatever the design, it carries a feeling of nostalgia and strength. It's a bridge between the past and the present, between her memories and her message. A man might glance at it and wonder where it came from, who gave it to her, what story it holds. And that wonder is exactly what makes it magnetic. It invites curiosity, it invites respect, and it invites conversation. Brooches were worn by queens, icons, and women who weren't afraid to be seen in their full glory. When a grown woman wears one today, she steps into that legacy. She's saying, "I remember who I am," and that remembrance carries power. She could have a whole room full of jewelry at her disposal, but she chooses the brooch because it speaks a different language, a slower, wiser, richer language. It's the kind of piece that doesn't fade into the background, even when it's small. It lives on her clothing like it belongs there, like it was always meant to be part of her presentation. Men may not always understand fashion, but they recognize confidence when they see it. And when they see a woman walk in with a brooch that catches the eye, they pick up on the confidence behind the choice. They notice the way she wears it, not just how it looks. They recognize that this is a woman who isn't afraid to take up space, who doesn't need to follow the crowd, who finds beauty in the classic, the refined, and the bold. That brooch becomes a part of her voice. It says she's intentional. It says she's refined. It says she's got stories that deserve to be heard. And even if she doesn't tell them all, the brooch makes you want to lean in and listen. It's not about how expensive it is or what brand it came from. It's about how she wears it with grace, how it adds a final touch to her already powerful presence. It's a quiet form of strength, a small statement with a big impact, a piece that turns something ordinary into something unforgettable. Diamond studs are one of those pieces that don't beg for attention, but somehow command it every time. There's something about that subtle sparkle sitting right on the ear of a confident woman that speaks volumes without saying a thing. It's not about the size or the cut, it's about what they represent. When a mature woman wears diamond studs, she's not wearing them to impress anyone. She's wearing them because they reflect who she is. Solid, strong, timeless. They don't swing, they don't dangle, they sit still and shine quietly. Just like a woman who's secure in herself. There's a confidence in that stillness, a kind of calm elegance that draws the eye and holds it. A man might not even realize why he keeps glancing her way, but something about those diamonds catches his attention. Maybe it's how they twinkle when she turns her head. Maybe it's how they highlight the curve of her jaw. Maybe it's how they look like they were made just for her. Diamond studs aren't there to compete with her beauty, they're there to mirror it. The way they reflect light is the way she reflects energy, pure, bright, and honest. A woman in diamond studs doesn't need a spotlight. She is the spotlight. She walks into a room and brings a sense of presence, the kind that's earned through experience and self-respect. These earrings aren't about wealth, they're about self-worth. She wears them not to prove anything, but to celebrate everything she's been through. The heartbreaks, the breakthroughs, the quiet victories that no one clapped for. They represent the kind of shine that's been polished through life's toughest moments. You can't buy that kind of glow. It comes from the inside out, and the diamonds just happen to match it. When she speaks, people listen, not because she's the loudest, but because she speaks with purpose. When she's silent, people notice, not because she's mysterious, but because her energy fills the room, even when she's still. Diamond studs are the kind of jewelry you wear when you've outgrown the need for applause. When you know your value and you don't discount yourself. When you're past trying to prove you're enough and instead just know you are. There's a freedom in that. A power. And men feel it. It shifts something in the atmosphere. It makes them straighten up a little. Choose their words more carefully. Respect the space she holds. Because there's no mistaking a woman who knows her worth. And diamond studs amplify that aura. She could be wearing a simple dress, no makeup, hair pulled back. And those studs will still make her look like she's ready to own the moment. They frame her face, but more than that, they frame the strength she carries. They're the kind of earrings you keep forever, pass down, and wear on the days you want to feel most like yourself. They don't need attention, they earn admiration. They speak to a woman's ability to shine without noise, to dazzle without trying, to glow without needing anyone's permission.